Okay, I've thought about doing a video setting up some synthesizers. I'll mostly do plugins for breath control, and I just pulled up Quadra because it's an easy one. And this is whatever patch I had open. I don't know what it is at all. That should be fine. Okay, so where are we at? So what am I doing here? Let's look. And it's going to be the resonance and the cutoff. So I have breath going only to the filter frequency or the cutoff. And then you see I have the curve adjusted a little bit. So it's a little slower on the attack. And then I have the minimum adjusted a bit. So it's not starting from absolute zero. It starts at 9%. And I don't have it quite going to the maximum either, which is really common. So most of these plugins, especially the Cherry Audio stuff, I usually have a little buffer on the beginning so it doesn't start from absolute zero. Sometimes you can get some low frequency noise that way, but what it does is it gives you a more precise attack, which I play a lot of staccato things. And it helps the articulation if you're starting 10% into the cutoff as opposed to starting from 0%, which I'll actually also show you the difference. So I'm going to dial it all the way down. And that's kind of how I set it. So, when I'm doing the original setup, and these are global. So when you set up breath, you're setting it up for the entire synth, which is probably why I'm only having it mapped on the one parameter. If I was doing it on a patch by patch basis, on some patches I might put some of the breath to the resonance too. But if it's global like this, what I tend to do is manually adjust it, sometimes even while I'm playing. So I know this is a hollow lead, so it's not going to have as much effect, but where's resonance here? Sorry about any key clicking there. I don't have the microphone off while I'm playing. So that's the hollow lead patch. Then we got fifths, boring. And that's your sawtooth thing. So really, because this is global, I have the breath to filter frequency settings the same for all of these. Quadra doesn't have as many different settings as some of the other Cherry Audio ones. Let's see what we got. So this is the Surrealistic MG-1 plugin, eventually. So I see I have the tape echo on here for the effects. It's the only effect on here. That's just from before because I closed it. So the filter settings on the MG-1 are a little different because it has the attack amount, which changes very much how it having a hard time reading it. It's the contoured cutoff. Yeah, it's the contoured cutoff. The peak frequency is the resonance. This is resonance. And this is kind of the envelope amount to the filter. And whatever this was, I pulled up some buzz bass, so it's like, yeah, I don't want to mess around with that. Let me go to a dark saw or something. Here we go. See, this is actually a little low on the minimum. I'd probably bump this up. just to get a little more articulation. So like that. And this is the kind of envelope amount. So it really hardens the attack, and that's where you start to get sound like some of those 70s synth solos, like Jan Hammer. He's playing on the Moog, and Moog. Yeah, he's playing on the Moog, and he I said it wrong for so long, and he he gets that where like every note triggers, and you get all that. I don't know if I can make it do that. See, this doesn't re-trigger every note, so but you get the really hard attack that way. But I tend to not like the hard attack because I would rather use the breath pushing the filter open more to get the attack. Because then you can get the more delicate things you could play. I don't even remember where I had it, but that sounds kind of good. It says fretless, so it's supposed to sound like a fretless bass, but really these kind of patches are good for lead too. It's kind of a chorusy lead sounding. I wonder. I think this is a single oscillator though, so it's not detuned. It's fattened up a little bit. It sounds nice. So this is Cherry Audio DC0106. It's similar where it has an envelope amount that you can use, or you can set it for gate too. See, I have it on gate anyway, but the envelope amount still has an effect of how much you're putting on the filter. It's your frequency. So I have the envelope amount down here. Probably a pretty soft attack. Frequency probably does not go all the way to 0. How far? Where's my MIDI at? I couldn't read it. That's annoying. Must be scaled weird. Anyway, it is not probably on 0. So this is a softer lead, but it's got resonance on there. So the resonance is, see, it's up above 50%. And the one thing with these global control mapping plugins, it's not a big deal breaker for me, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to go, okay, I'm just going to do breath to the resonance for whatever works for most of the patches. So whatever works for most of the patches, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to manipulate the other controls while I'm playing, because it's not that hard for me to reach down on the touchpad and start, noodling around with the controls, especially when I'm in standalone mode and I'm using the built-in effects, which is what you hear here. There's no reason to start mapping a bunch of other knobs in that, because if I have the control panel open, it's pretty easy to change it. So if I was doing a solo or something, I wish I could throw on a backing track, but I don't feel like opening something. So if you're doing, I tend to nudge the control just a little bit and then I don't move it. I'll have it down. Then when I want a little more quack or something and I bump it up, the resonance. Then I leave it, It's just like you do with the effects, the same thing. If you want the longer time or more wet. If I really wanted to get into it, I could take my small controller that has the programmable knobs and I could map all of them. At some point I may do that because it would be nice to have kind of a performance setup where you just reach down and twist the knob and you get more delay, less delay, whatever. But it's not like it's that hard when you have the touchpad. And if I was using the iPad instead of the laptop, like say I was playing CraftSynth through it, it's pretty easy to use the screen to manipulate the controls too.